from yours? Can you guys
We're
hear
recording.
me?
We're good. We're recording.
Okay, can you guys hear me right now? Yeah? Okay,
Wow.
cool. All right, so I'm super excited about the team call tonight. You guys, this is gonna be really, really impactful for a lot of us. But before we get started, I'm excited about something that we're gonna do now on every team call because I wanna celebrate some coaches that are kicking butt. So let's see if my screen share works. You tell me if you can see my screen. Thumbs up if you can see my screen. Yeah? Okay, I can see Kelly and I can see Jackie. So, all right. I'm really excited because I want to recognize, wait, you guys can see this, right? Okay, and you can hear me? Okay, sorry about the technical difficulties. I'm really excited because every week on the team call, we're now going to recognize the Success Club leaders as of today, and we're going to recognize the top volume and the top recruiters as of today, and the life changers of the week, meaning whoever put the most Success Club points on the board between the start of next week, which as you guys know, our weeks in Beachbody end at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Wednesdays. So the entire next week, the life changers of the week in comparison to the week prior. So to quick give a shout out for those that are crushing it right now. No surprise, Elisa, who's hosting the call, is in Success Club 10 already. But Brittany Crosby at Success Club 30, Kinsley at 16, Elisa at 12, I'm at 10, Cassie Reese at 10, and Jana at 10, as well as a whole bunch of us that are in Success Club already. And then I want to give a shout out to the top 3 volume producers from last week. Volume essentially means the amount of people that you've helped get started on your journey in that particular week, because every Beachbody product has a volume attached to it. So shout out to Kinsley at 1,000 and Jana at 948. And Jana, if you're on the call right now, let's blow up the chat because she's a newer coach too and crushing it in the top 3 volume of a 3,000 plus person team. That's really freaking incredible. And the top recruiters from last week, we have Cassie crushing it with 5 coaches, Lexi with 4, Brittany, myself, and Kaylee all with 3 coaches from last week. And as a team, we have changed 122 people's lives already, and it's February 13th. Guys, oh, baby, I'm so freaking excited. So special shout out, let's blow up the chat. I can't really see the chat, but I can tell that it's blowing up of all of these coaches that are making moves. So to get yourself on this board, obviously Success Club. We have tons of time this month to hit Success Club. It's literally only the 13th. New challenge groups start every single Monday. There's a Transform 20 group that's about to kick off. So plenty of opportunities for you to lock in Success Club and pay this opportunity forward. So if you just jumped on, I'm gonna mute you. There we go, cool. So I'm really excited. Do you guys like doing shout outs at the beginning? I feel like we should do this every week because it's so fun. Okay, cool. So without further ado, I want to turn the time over to Elisa, who's going to talk to us about a really important topic of inviting. I know she's going to get into the heart behind this because that's who she is, but you often do see Elisa at the top of the Success Club board. Elisa is leading Made for Brave, which is an elite team, which is really freaking incredible that they've accomplished so much. They've helped so many people's lives. But the thing about it is it's because it's coming from purpose and a crap ton of work. So I love you, Lisa. I'm just going to turn the time over to you. Maybe Jackie can do that, actually.
Okay, awesome. Can you guys hear me? Yeah? Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm super excited to talk to you guys tonight. I like to start off calls, even though I know some of you know who I am, but I like to assume that there are brand new coaches on because normally there are. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my background, and then I'm going to dive into kind of the meat of the call. But I'm super thankful for you guys for taking the time out of your weeks to be here. We are going to touch on this handy little sheet that if you are in the Slay Squad or in the Brave Builders page, hopefully you have seen this, hopefully you are using it. But one of the things on here that you're going to be able to check off tonight is the team calls on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. You guys, it seems like, or at least I can attest for me when I first started coaching, it seemed like team calls weren't really going to help me in my business. It seemed like just an extra thing to do. And I can tell you guys that my business exploded once I started leaning into this community and actually soaking up what all of this is, right? And all of these women that we can learn from. So Good job for you for being here. Thank you for lending me an ear. So to give you guys a little bit of background on me, I have been coaching for almost 3 years, which actually makes my brain almost explode. But I was doing the math earlier, and I officially signed up technically as a discount coach in April 3 years ago. So, which is totally insane to me. But to give you guys a little bit of a background story on that, like I said, I signed up originally just for the discount. I actually started the groups when I was a single widowed mom. So my first husband passed away from cancer when he was 27 years old. I was 26. We had a 9-month-old baby girl. I know I'm flying through that, and it's really heart-wrenching. It was extremely, obviously, very hard. But what's crazy is I had gotten to a place where I had figured out kind of the spiritual side of that, the emotional side of that, and not that that's something that you just move past, right? But I figured out how to move forward in my life with that. I've actually written a book about that whole thing, like shameless plug, that it's being published this year. So if you guys want more info on that, check out my page. But what's really crazy is that I had everything kind of, I felt like I was on top of my game for the most part. I had just started dating again. I actually am now married to who was my boyfriend when I started in my first challenge group. And I felt really good for the most part, except for physically. So physically, I was struggling hardcore. I had been fighting an autoimmune disease that I actually started out when I was 19. Of all things, you guys, I was actually away at school. I was playing soccer for college, and I literally got so sick I couldn't function. And I fought that for 8 years before I was even diagnosed. But it ended up being an autoimmune disease. And then I was struggling with such bad fatigue. And my doctors kept telling me it's just because of your disease. It's because of the steroids that you have to be on to keep your disease at bay. And basically they were like, there's no hope for you, right? So I was doing as much as I could, I thought, on my end to go to the gym, to eat healthy. I was juicing things, you guys, in my kitchen, making the biggest green mess you could ever imagine. And it was taking like hours of time out of my day trying to basically construct what is Shakeology, because I had no clue that Shakeology existed. And that was when I saw my coach Jackie's post on Facebook. So she basically posted kind of a public invite, and it was like, dude, if you're struggling with any of these things, she listed all this stuff, and one of them was like energy, and my brain like zeroed in, and I was like, I don't even care what it is she's talking about. Like, I want to try whatever this is and like go for it. Then she starts sending me the details, and I hear the word shake, and I'm like, just kidding, I don't want to do it. And at first I was very turned off by that because I wasn't a shake person, and I was just eating whole foods and juicing whole foods. And you guys, it still cracks me up to this day because I was one of the most skeptical human beings. I'm a questioner, I'm an 8, I'm a challenger. So I literally will not go for something unless I know for a fact it's legit. So I did all my research. I sent Jackie probably the most ridiculous number of questions ever. She was probably super annoyed. Luckily, she's best friends with my now husband. So like, it's okay. So it's like a family thing. She had to accept me for who I am. But in all reality, it's pretty insane to think where I started in all of this and the fact that I've ended up here, right, 3 years later. So that is just another plug for you guys to remember that no matter who you're talking to, they might not even know they need this yet. Okay, I had no idea that I even wanted this at first and had no clue that this was going to be an opportunity career-wise for me, like at all. I was already running my own business. I was pretty successful in that. And I didn't think that coaching would ever be for me. And now I feel like I've been hooked up with my like soulmate dream job, which is literally coaching, and I get to write, which is my other passion. And I'm like literally, and they wouldn't be complete without the other. So it totally blows my mind. But I told you this would be short. I'm not good at that. This is why I wrote a book, because I can't like keep things short. So it just turns into a novel. Like I went to write a Facebook post one day and it's a book. So it's fine. But basically, I wanted to see where this could go when I first started coaching with the idea of and the lens of, right, I was like, I'm going to keep doing these groups. I need to keep doing these groups. And I knew I would be more accountable if I was considered a coach. I wasn't really the greatest challenger in that I wasn't the best at like checking into the actual group, even though I would do my workouts. I wasn't great at checking in until I was actually a coach. So I got to a place where I was like, I want to make sure I'm accountable and that people like notice if I don't show up. So I'm going to start calling myself a coach, which is super scary because I don't have any experience in this area at all. I have any degrees in that at all. I just have my associates still to this day. So it's like, I'm not uber smart or anything like that. So I'm like, that's super scary. But if I show up in this way, and then if a few people decide to do this with me, that would be awesome, right? But it was always something where from the very beginning, my mindset was, I'm doing this no matter what. I don't care if anybody else ever joins me. This is what I'm doing and I'm going to show up. So at first, I just added, people to my coaches groups. I know a lot of coaches do that. In Made for Brave, we run team-wide groups. I know Keisha does, and Team Fit Foundation does team-wide groups too. You guys, we do team-wide groups so that when you start coaching, if you're scared or nervous that you won't have enough people, if you maybe only have one person, they can still join the group, right? So like, it's really cool because we have those training wheels. But once I hit July, I knew I had been coaching for a few months, and I knew it would be really fun for me to take ownership and just see what I could do with a 3-week-long group, see what kind of posts I came up with, right? And I still used the content and morphed it to be my own, all of those things. But it's really cool when you do break away, you guys, that adds that, again, another layer of accountability when you're the one that's kind of in charge of that group, right? But as I did this, right, so as I started doing these things and decided I was going to coach, Jackie told me about the vitals of coaching. So back then there wasn't even like a structured team training for Team Fit Foundation. I think we were maybe in between trainings or something, but there wasn't really a structured training. But Jackie basically told me about the vitals of coaching, and that was the one thing, which there are technically 4 things, and we'll go over those very quickly in a minute. But it was technically just those 4 things that I showed up and did every single day without fail, no matter how I was feeling, that I have done consecutively, like since I basically decided to really show up as a coach, which was in June, I guess, almost 3 years ago. Okay. And now since then, I checked my back office. I've been in SC 10 or more for 31 consecutive months. Okay, but the only reason that's happened, so that means I've helped 5 people or more every month for 31 months. The only reason that's happened is because I've done these vitals without fail, right? So all of this basically came about because of that consistency. So those 4 vitals that I told you we were going to touch on, and I know this is repetitive, you guys, for some of us who maybe have been here longer, but some of us are brand new, right? And even if you've been here for a while, I want you to take a look at these 4 things, even if you've been here for longer than me, and think about if you're actually doing all 4 of them. Because I know for me, I have to gut check myself often on these, okay? Because the first one is doing your workout, which seems like it would be easy, right? But it's also easy to kind of go through the motions and not give it your all, right? So you're picking one program, you're committing to that program, and you're doing your absolute best for as long as that workout is, which I always pick the shortest workouts because I don't love working out still to this day. So I am doing Transform 20 and I love it because it's 20 minutes, but I am trying to give it my all. Do I succeed every single day in giving it 110%? Absolutely not. But I try my best. And some days that's like 70% of maybe my capacity, but that's okay, right? I am committed though, and I'm pushing through those workouts. I'm making sure that I'm checking into my accountability group and I'm documenting as I go, which means I'm posting it to my stories. All of these vitals, in my opinion, like a 5th vital should almost be documenting, right? Making sure that you're documenting all those things that you're doing so that other people know you're doing them, right? Because if you're showing up in your workout every day, but you never ever post anything about it on social media, one day when you have to expand out of your warm market or the people that you already know, nobody's gonna know that you've actually been consistent, and it's going to look like you're just trying to sell them something that you don't actually do yourself, right? So keep that in mind. But that's number one. Number two is the nutrition. So making sure that you are on point as best you can be with your nutrition. I live by the 80-20 rule, especially once I got to a place where I felt really good in my body. I decided 80% of the time I was going to eat according to the nutrition plan. 20% of the time I'm going to eat for fun, and that's what I do. And I have wine. I wear the shirt not on purpose, but there's things that I eat and that I drink that this is like where I live now, right? When you're a coach for a long period of time, it doesn't mean that you're going to be eating just kale salads. You have to make sure that you're enjoying your life too, but find a plan that works for you. And if it's within Beachbody's arsenal, that's better, because again, then you can offer that to other people instead of just telling them like, I eat some of this and I eat some of that and I do a little bit of this, right? Giving people a real solution and a real roadmap is really important. So if you can fit yourself into the container system or 2B mindset, which is my favorite, pick one of those, right? And do what you can to stick to that nutrition plan. Wrapped up in there is Shakeology. I feel like it's weird to have to preach on Shakeology now, but it's funny because when I think back to when I started and I was so iffy on it and I wasn't sure and I was researching every ingredient and all of that stuff, at first I thought it was an overpriced protein shake until I started doing that research, right? But if you actually look into every single ingredient on there, you guys, if you compare it to every single other shake on the market, like this is what blows my mind. I was looking again, literally the other day, reading through every ingredient. These are the things that naturopaths are literally prescribing to everyone. Maca powder, ashwagandha, like literally like everything in it, probiotics, prebiotics. There was an article in Shape Magazine the other day about probiotics and prebiotics and how prebiotics are the new probiotics and all these things. And I'm like, dude, this is what we've been drinking for years. Like there's so much incredible stuff in there. And if you drink it consistently, and only if, because remember, just like a vitamin, if you take an iron pill every other day for a month or whatever, you're not going to know if it fixed your anemia ever, because you're not being consistent with it. You have to take the full dose every single day to know if it's going to work. Same goes for Shakeology, right? So that all just fits into nutrition. Make sure you're drinking your shakes every day. And if you don't like how they taste, find a recipe that works, because I promise you there is one. Okay, third one, personal development. This one is a killer of so many businesses. Like it literally kills people's businesses, like right out of the gates, and people don't even realize it. They say Beachbody didn't work for me, and what's so crazy is they didn't do personal development. I can guarantee you, okay? It almost killed my business when I started because I didn't do it, because I thought I was above it and I thought I didn't need it, okay? So personal development is super important. If you don't know what personal development is, it's basically like self-help. This is why I thought I was above it, because I thought self-help was for like weirdos and like old people and like losers or something. I don't even know what I thought, but it's not. It's for everybody, and it's going to help you understand and up level in your life. Like it's not just Beachbody. And that's what I love about it. It applies to every area of my life. I've become a better daughter, a better friend, a better human being. I think before I speak, part of the time now instead of never. It's so helpful. So that is something that you cannot skip if you want to be a successful coach. Okay. It's another really good thing, again, to document, right? You can share a page of your PD. I try to do it every single morning. I try to share what I'm reading, what I'm listening to, right? Okay. I'm saying okay a lot. I don't know why. Sorry. I'm like looking for head nods. This is just like my game. Okay. So the last thing, the fourth vital, this is where we're getting into the meat of the call and really the part that is going to help you build a business out of this. If that's what your goal is, if that's what you're going for, even if you just want it to be a hobby or you just want to impact lives, which honestly, that is the base of everything that I do, is I just want to help other people. And it's crazy to think, right, that if I didn't invite people, I would never have helped even. I just muted myself. I would have never helped even one person. I was trying to expand the screen. When I first started coaching, And Jackie told me that one of the vitals was inviting. I almost peed my pants, and I was really, really nervous about a couple things. One, I didn't want anyone to know that I was involved in direct marketing. Okay. I was so nervous about that because I had been recruited time and time again by a bunch of super cheesy, salesy people on their cheesy, salesy things. And I'm not going to like name names, but it was like really hardcore for me for a couple of years because I had been blogging and, you know, stuff like that. And I got all of these invites all the time. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be that person. Like, I will not do that. Right. So I was really afraid of being salesy, really afraid of being just like another direct marketer. Okay. So what's really crazy is once I changed my mindset and I realized how different this is, not to like compare things because you really can't, but like when you think about it, right, it's apples to oranges. I think this is a completely different thing because what we are offering is not just a product. What we are offering is an actual life change, and not just a life change if you make $1 million, not just a life change if you make $200 a month, not just a life change if you create a platform and like end up with 2,000 followers on Instagram or whatever. Like, you actually get a life change no matter if you ever do anything with this business. And the life change is that you actually have access to tools that can make you healthier than you've ever been in your entire life. Okay. For me, I played soccer in college. I played Division II. We had 3-a-day practices. I've never been fitter than I am today. And this is post 2 kids and 31 years old. Okay. Huge life change. I can go upstairs now without getting out of breath, which when these challenge groups found me was not the case. I haven't taken medication for my autoimmune disease in over 2.5 years. Okay. That's insane. Is that not insane? Like, I mean, you guys don't really know, I guess, but it's insane. I was so sick for so long, and now I don't get those symptoms anymore. And I'm not allowed to say I'm cured because of like legality reasons or whatever, but I'm basically cured. Okay. So like, major life change. Doesn't matter if I ever earned $1 in this. Doesn't matter if I ever hit SC in this. That's a life change totally worth I think it was honestly like 170 when I signed up, and I just got 21 Day Fix. So y'all have it easy because we have Beachbody On Demand. I got a little DVD set, and then every time I wanted to get a new workout, you had to buy more DVDs. So just for anybody who thinks it's expensive now, like, it's not. But when I started changing my mindset on this, you guys, and I realized that this is a gift that we're offering, whether or not somebody does the business, and that we actually get to change lives, again, whether or not somebody does the business side of things. That's when I started realizing this is a lot more fun than I was making it. I was making inviting scary, and I was making it weird, and I was making it salesy. And the second I shifted my mindset, which was pretty early on, I was able to really help people out, right? And to give them the right vibe. Because if I felt creepy, salesy, or weird, they were going to get that vibe through the computer. And that sounds really, really weird probably to some of you, because it would have sounded weird to me. But I swear, we all as human beings, we read between the lines. We have instincts. We have gut checks. And we know when somebody has weird motives or whatever. So if you don't feel like you know that this is a gift, like, hold back a sec and figure out if this has been a gift in your life in any way, shape, or form. If having the accountability, having the friends, having these team calls, having the hope of getting to go to Summit, like, if any of that stuff has like lit a little fire in your heart, right? Or if you've lost a couple pounds, or if your clothes are just fitting better and you're still the exact same weight, or if you just feel more confident because you actually worked out for 20 minutes today, and that's saying more than what you did maybe last week or last year at this time, right? Then that's something that you can absolutely pay forward. So when I started thinking about this as more of a party, this is where we're going to get into, it started to get really, really fun. So I like to think, right, it's my party. I'll invite if I want to, but for real, okay? Because here's the thing. When you start thinking about your challenge group, if you start thinking about it as a party, then this becomes a whole lot easier. So to give you guys like a little bit of an example, I guess. So let's say that you're going to throw like an epic birthday party for yourself. Like, let's say it's your 30th birthday. I'm just using that because that was my closest one. And, you know, like Lo just had hers. So let's say you're about to throw your 30th birthday party and you're super excited for your party and you hire a DJ and you get an event space. You get a photographer. You find somebody that's going to make like epic cupcakes and you're going to have like a dance floor and all this stuff. And then you like lock in your favorite food truck and you're like, oh my gosh, this is epic. And then you post about it on Facebook because you're like, oh my gosh, so-and-so's Pedro's Tacos is going to come to my party and I'm so pumped. And you like post a selfie with Pedro or whatever and you post about it, right? You're going to be like super stoked. You're probably going to be posting about it on social media. You're going to be at least talking about how you're going to be turning 30 soon, like whatever. You're going to be posting about stuff. But if you then showed up to your own party and nobody was there, do you know the thing that you were probably missing is that you probably forgot to actually invite anybody. And it would be really, really weird of you to think, well, I posted about it on social media, but nobody showed up. Like, I wonder why nobody showed up, right? That would be weird. Like, I don't know about you guys, but when I host parties, I have to send invites. And that, you know, was true in kindergarten and it's still true today. Like, if you're going to host a party, you actually have to send a personal invite. People have to know that they're wanted. They have to know that you actually want them to be there and that you care whether or not they're there, right? Otherwise, they aren't going to come. I was reminded of this actually a few summers ago. There was a barbecue at a friend's house through church, and it was at kind of like a newer church, and it was kind of more, I guess, newer friends too that we just didn't really know that well. And they posted about it on the church community page. It's a smaller church, right? Like 200 people. They posted about it on the community page and said like, hey, everyone's welcome to come over. We're having like barbecue. This is what we're having, blah, blah, blah. All the details. This is the day, everything. And I was not really inclined to go. I was like, I don't think I'm going to go. Like it didn't even really cross my mind that I would go until I got a text from the woman who was throwing it and said, hey, Lisa, I don't know if you saw on Facebook, but we're having a barbecue. If you want to come over and like bring, you know, your daughter and like bring her swimsuit and stuff, like it would be really good to see you. And you guys, that changed everything. And then I was like, you know what? Yeah, we'll go. Yeah, like, I mean, that totally changes the entire game because I knew that she would notice if I didn't come, she would notice that I was there and have somebody to talk to that I knew, maybe knew who I was, those kind of things, right? So it's really important to think about this in the exact same way. When you, I guess I find that sometimes people decide that they're going to coach and then they say, nobody's joining me, or I can't get anyone to join me. I hear these words all the time. And I'm sure I maybe said the same thing at the beginning, but try to reword this in your head, okay? Reword this differently. Because just like if you were going to throw a 30th birthday party, if you reached out to your friends and you just said like, hey, I'm thinking about throwing my 30th and I'm thinking about having it at, you know, XYZ pub. Do you think you'd be able to come? And if they had a different party on that day and they're like, no, my grandma's 80th is that day, or like whatever, they said that they couldn't come for whatever reason. No, I don't go to pubs. You wouldn't be offended, right? You would maybe even reschedule it. You would follow up with them. You would try again, right? But you wouldn't be offended by the fact that they weren't going to come to your party. And you wouldn't go around saying, I can't get anyone to come to my 30th birthday party. It would be like, I'm trying to find a time that's going to work for everybody. I'm trying to figure out how to make this even more appealing, maybe more fun. Maybe you need to not have it at a pub and you need to have it at, you know, a mini golf place or something like that. Low. So whatever it is, sorry, the 30th birthday thing, I don't know, it's stuck in my head. So whatever it is though, right, you have to think about it that way. So when I think about it that way, it makes it a lot easier because I just think about, okay, our Fit Tribes, and it's crazy because we use the Challenge Tracker app And I think everybody on Team Fit Foundation now, like all of us across the board pretty much uses the tracker app, but even on Facebook too, you can do it either way, right? You're getting check-ins every day. You're getting to see other people's posts. You're getting to we do like weekly giveaways every day. You do these things that make it fun, right? But really so much of the fun comes from your mindset. Again, just like a party. Have you ever gone to a party when you're in a bad mood and you show up and then you don't have any fun? It's because you were in a bad mood, right? But if you go to a party and you have the mindset of like, I'm going to show up, I'm just going to have a good time, I'm going to like try to talk to people, like I'm going to make some connections, like everything levels up, right? And you have a really good time. So like continue to think of whatever challenge group you're a part of, whether you're running it or someone else is running it, think of how you can add value. Think about how you can go in there and basically add more fun to the community, right? And this is why live events are so important too. Like as we show up to live events, we get to meet each other, but so much of the fun in this even is those wins that we're taking home personally, right? The wins, like again, like we just talked about, feeling more energetic, maybe losing a few pounds, maybe like just feeling better about yourself, feeling more confident. Those things, in my opinion, that's better than any party, because for the rest of that person's life, every party they go to might be that much better because of what they found in our challenge groups, right? So remember this, every time you go to send an invite, think about it as you're inviting somebody to do something really freaking fun. And why would they say no? But also, if they say no, that's okay, right? You're still going to have fun. You're still going to have your party and you're still going to go. So what's really cool about this is at the very beginning, I remember thinking, I'm just going to start coaching and I'm just going to sign up the people that come to me. And I had like a little bit of a following. It honestly blew up a lot more since I joined Beachbody. But at the beginning, I had a little bit of a following. And I thought, people are just going to come to me. And you know what I noticed, you guys? People actually don't come to you. Not at all. Just like if you were throwing a party, people don't actually come to you and invite themselves over to your house because they saw you post about it on Facebook. That would be weird again, right? Like, hey, saw you're having a party. You said that you got a DJ. Can I come? Like, people don't normally do that. So you have to remember to send those personal invites. Once you've been showing up very consistently, and maybe once you've been hitting SC10 for 2 years in a row, like that's about the time that I started seeing that I am starting to get people reaching out to me, right? But it's only because I've been showing up super consistently in those vitals, and again, documenting them every single day. So people are seeing it every single day in my stories, right? They're noting and noticing that I've been showing up for a really long time. So the people that are coming to me now, though, you guys, even the ones that I'm like, oh, they came out of the woodwork, I scroll back up in that conversation, I'm like, oh no, I invited them 2 years ago and now they're coming around. I've had multiple people this month alone. I think I've had 3 people that I invited over 18 months ago that are just now signing up. They've been watching me for 18 months, which is crazy to me. But as fast as time passes, right? Like they're living their lives. They're doing their thing. Maybe they're not thinking about health and fitness. Maybe you messaged them and they ghosted you and they didn't respond, right? Maybe they said no outright. Whatever it is, when it comes around to it and they're feeling like, oh, I need to sign up for a gym, they're going to remember, oh my goodness, Lo reached out to me. Jessica reached out to me. Cassie reached out to me. She said something about like some fitness thing. Sounded kind of weird, but like I don't really have time to go to a gym. I should check out what that is, right? They're going to think about you, especially if you're showing up consistently and you're documenting it, right? If you show up in fits and starts and you're only posting about it every once in a while, just to give you a heads up, people see less than like 10% of your posts on Facebook. I think it's even less on Instagram, honestly, because people don't scroll that long on Instagram these days, right? They scroll a few and then that's it. So most people aren't seeing your posts. Most people aren't watching every single one of your stories. So make sure that you're showing up consistently so that they know that you're being consistent in your journey, because they're not going to want to join a team or a coach that isn't on their own journey too, right? Which again, you never have to be perfect as a coach. You never have to follow your meal plan 100%. You don't have to love working out. Like I am case in point, right? You don't have to be perfect, but you have to show that you're on the journey, okay? That's really, really important. So people are going to need to know you, they're going to need to like you, and they're going to need to trust you in order to join your challenge group. The main way you do that is by posting to your stories, posting to your actual page. Most of my new business comes from Instagram now, but I still put everything on Facebook and Instagram. But if you only have time for one, right, I would say choose Instagram. And then make sure you're posting at least once a day on your actual feed. And then I shoot for at least 5 times a day in your stories. 4 of the vitals right there are pretty much covered, right? I guess it's kind of hard to story an invite. That might be kind of weird, but you can story objections, which is a really good way. If somebody responds and they say it's too expensive, put up your response to that. And if you don't know a response, post in the Slay Squad or in the Brave Builders page and ask what other people would respond so that we can help you if you're new to this, right? But then you can post those objections publicly, and then that kind of bashes it. And people are like, oh, I thought it was more expensive. I didn't realize that it's actually going to save me money. Maybe this is something I should reach out about, right? Because other people are going to be thinking the exact same things. So let me make sure I'm on my notes. I'm like totally skipping all around. Is this helping? I'm seeing some comments. Okay. Oh yeah, I was going to talk about this. Okay, so think about this. Okay, does anybody like brushing their teeth? Siena's not allowed to answer. Raise your hand if you like brushing your teeth. Like if you're like, oh, I'm so excited to brush my teeth. Oh, there's a few people. Okay, you guys are really weird. I hate brushing my teeth. It's so boring. It's like 2 minutes of like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so bored, out of my mind. Okay, this is why I also hate working out. I'm like a weirdo about like getting crap done and like being efficient, like doing other things, but I hate brushing my teeth. I hate working out. I really just like, I don't know, just like anything where I have to wait or be still or be silent or whatever. It like bugs the crap out of me. But I still do these things every single day. I still brush my teeth because I don't want to be gross. I want to keep all my teeth. I want to be able to eat food, you know, it's pretty important, right? And I still work out every day because it's really, really freaking important to me to live as long as I can. And I know that we can't control every aspect of that, right? But losing your husband at 26 years old is a firm wake-up call that we should be doing at least everything we can to cherish the breaths that we have, right? Every single breath we have is a gift. So we have to remember that we are responsible for showing up and for using our breaths and our talent to the best of our ability, right? And for me, in a way, some days, little secret, coaching's the same way. Some days I don't want to invite people. Some days I don't want to encourage challengers. Some days I don't want to, I don't know, do something. Maybe mark things off on this, whatever it is. There's certain days where I like don't want to do it. And that's totally normal. Especially at the beginning, it was really normal for me at the beginning to question, like, is this something I really want to do? Do I want to do this for the rest of my life? I don't know if I like coaching. I don't know if coaching likes me. I'm not sure if this is my thing. Like, that's actually all very, very normal to wonder. What I want to tell you is don't think too far ahead. Just think, is it helping me right now? And then keep going every day that it is. And if you're leaning in, if you're doing those vitals, if you're doing your workouts, following the nutrition plan, and doing personal development, I guarantee you in 6 months, you're going to be a better, healthier, braver person. Especially if you're sending invites. You will be so much more brave and so much more confident, okay? I was pitching publishers over the course of the last 6 months. And it was super duper scary because you're putting basically your heart out on the line in front of people and asking them to judge it and tell you if you're worthy or not, right? I'm pretty certain, 99.99% certain, that had I tried to pitch a book, which I've been planning on writing a book for a long time, if I had tried to pitch a book prior to Beachbody, the rejection would have killed me. I probably would have quit and decided that I was a sucky writer. Because it's pretty harsh, right? It's pretty brutal. But like, I've faced so much rejection in Beachbody. I faced so many no's, and I've learned to again treat it as like, okay, this isn't your cup of tea. That's okay. That it gave me the ability to see my book the same way. This isn't your cup of tea. That's okay. Somebody out there is looking for what I have. Somebody out there, you guys, is looking for what you have. They're looking for what you're offering. They're looking for you to share your story and talk about your struggles and talk about the things that you like and that you don't like. And if you like brushing your teeth and flossing, that's fine. You post all about that. Maybe you'll find some people that love that too. But whatever it is, right? Your people are out there. You just have to keep going long enough to find them. You have to keep working on this. You have to keep doing your vitals until you come across the magic, right? Way too many people quit before they've hit that sweet spot. And it's really, really hard to see, but it also just hammers home the fact that all of the coaches you guys see that are successful, every single one of them, and I remember when I started coaching, every one of them talked about the vitals, and I was like, it can't be that easy. It can't be that easy. What's the secret? You guys, there is no secret. It's literally the vitals. It's the stuff that's on the sheet. This is what we're doing, right? And it's so, so important. So I wanted to give you guys a tangible. So I'm actually going to copy and paste this into the chat so you guys can copy and paste it. Okay, that's my sample invite. This is what I send to people because the next question invariably that people ask is like, okay, great. I know I need to invite people. How do I invite people? Oh, okay. I'm going to speed it up. We're almost done. So that there's time for if you guys have any questions. But people ask, right? Like, how do I invite people? It's the same way, again, that you would invite people to a party. So I was actually thinking about it. I hosted a favorites party this last month. And what's crazy is my best friends were the very first ones I texted first, my like super close friends. And I asked them like, hey, I'm thinking about hosting a favorites party. There's like a couple of things like this is what it's going to look like. We're going to do like brunchish theme. Does that sound like good to you? And I kind of wanted to get a feel for it. And if they said yes, then I gave them more information. That's how I treat invites too, right? I don't tell them like, hey, my challenge group starts on the 18th and we're doing Transform 20 and it's 20 minutes a day and we're doing this meal plan, but you can eat, healthy food, but you can also drink wine and you can do this. And like, I don't give them that whole spiel. I just ask them if they would want more information. And it's really, really casual, right? So my example was, hey girl, just because I know this is being recorded, but hey girl, oh my goodness, I'm so glad we're connected here. I love your, and then I try to personalize it and I say something about their vibe, their profile, their pics, whatever I found on Instagram, right? This is after they've followed me back on Instagram, or if they're watching my stories, or if they've commented on something or liked something. So I say, so you have to remember, like, keep expanding your network, keep finding new people to follow so that they can follow you back. But so I love your vibe. This is kind of random, but I wanted to reach out because I'm putting together a few things for our upcoming Fit Tribe, and I think you would love it. No clue if that's up your alley at all, but I wanted to check just because it would be so fun if you did this with us. What's really cool is that you're basically just asking if it's up their alley, and they're either going to say yes or no. Most of the time they say, I don't know what a Fit Tribe is, which is perfect. That's exactly what you want them to say. And you say, no worries, I can send you details if you want. And they say yes. And then you go from there, right? Whenever I get questions, I was going to tell you guys this part. This is a great one. Okay, so you're posting, you're documenting, you post your workout and somebody's like, oh my gosh, what workout is this? Or they say, oh, that looks hard. Or they say, I love your music. Whatever they say, they respond in any way, shape, or form. They put a sad face, reaction, sad face. Whatever they say doesn't matter. I don't care. My response is something along the lines of, oh my goodness, I love this so much. This is actually a part of our online Fit Tribes. Have you thought about doing one of those with us? I say the same thing with any reaction, comment, response to my Shakeology picture, to my Energize boomerang, to anything, because all of that stuff is a part of our Fit Tribes, right? So the simple question, that is an invite in and of itself, and it's like one sentence. Actually, it's like 3 sentences, but they're short. Oh my goodness, I love it so much. It's part of our online fit tribes. Have you ever thought about doing this with us? Most of the time, no. What's an online fit tribe? No, I haven't. What? What are you talking about? That's like normally the response. And then I say, oh my goodness, it's just this like tribe online. It's like accountability and we do at-home workouts. Would you want more details on that? Sorry, that's so random. And then yes or no, right? And then you move forward. But it's only weird if you make it weird. Like, that's what's so crazy about inviting. It's not weird. It's so casual. And the number of people that don't respond to me, I don't even know what that is. I don't even know the number of people that say no to me because I don't care. Because again, it doesn't matter if people are going to join your party or not. It doesn't matter if they have something else or another party that they're going to, right? You're not going to unfriend them or hate them or like be mad at them if they have another party, which in this case is like a gym, right? Maybe they respond and they're like, I have a gym, I have a personal trainer, I don't want to be fit. Whatever their response is, like, that's okay. It's totally fine. So that's one of the things that I think is really important to just remember. But I had like just some best practices. I'm going to run through really quick. There's like 5. And then if you guys do have any questions, drop them in the chat now. And maybe Keisha can grab them. But so one thing that's really important is stop assuming people will think badly of you. Either people that you know or the people you're inviting that you don't know or the people that you're inviting that you do know or just your random neighbor or your mother-in-law that's on your Facebook account. Stop assuming they're going to think badly of you because I let that hold me back for far too long. I tried to separate my Beachbody life from like my real life, which makes absolutely no sense, but I think we all try to do it a little bit at the beginning maybe. And it's so crazy because I worked myself up for no reason. Okay. Nobody cares what you're doing. If it makes you happy, they should be happy for you. If they're not, I don't know why they're in your life. Right. But like, they will be happy for you if it's good for you. Right. So don't be afraid of what people are going to think about you. Stop assuming that people who don't respond to you are doing it on purpose. And don't go back and be like, oh, so-and-so didn't respond and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. Like, I don't even know how you guys have time to even look at that. I am sending so many messages a day. I don't have time to go back and even look at who responded, who didn't. I do send follow-ups just like I would if I send an invite to a baby shower and somebody didn't respond to me. I would like ask, I would just be like, hey, this is weird, but like, did you get my invite in the mail? Like, same kind of question, right? Hey, like, I don't know if you saw my last like message, but did you get it on Instagram, right? That's not weird to follow up. Like, you can follow up, but don't ever take any of it personally. Don't be attached to the outcome. It doesn't matter what they say. If you're still going to show up every day, if it doesn't change the fact for you, right? What does it matter? So don't hold it against them. Okay. And that's basically it, you guys. So remember to do all of these things, but at the end of the day, the most important part is remembering, again, like why you're here. So figure that out. Figure out how this is making you better. And then why not invite other people to do the same thing and get better with us, right? Because like it blows my mind. Like, I always think about this, and this is Jackie. Let me give you like the biggest hug. I can see you. You're on my screen. But I want to give you the biggest hug because I'm like, if she didn't post about it, I would have had no clue. Like, I would have had no clue. And if she didn't answer my million questions and face a million of my objections with confidence, which, you guys, I tried to convince her that I was going to do her groups without shakes, and she was like, no. And I was like, yes, and then no, and then push back. And then I was like, I am not going to do it then because I don't have the money. And she was like, well, I think you might have the money and maybe it'll be worth it. And I was like, no. And then I was like, okay, fine, I'll try it, right? Because 100% money back guarantee, even a single mom could do it because I was like, I'm going to drink all the shakes and get all my money back. And then, Beachbody, I just got free breakfast for a month. That's what I thought was going to happen. So what's so crazy is that if you think about this like a party and you remember why you're here, inviting should not be a problem. Okay. That's all.
So while we have 10 minutes left, can I jump in real quick and have you do like a 5-minute overview of like kind of your process, right? To give someone like something tangible that's like, okay, so we have your invite script, but like, Elisa, someone that's thinking like, Elisa, how do you put that many numbers on the board? Like, how do I know how to find people? Can we just do like a quick little like rundown of this is how I would find someone if I'm a new coach and I'm starting to tap into my cold market? And like, what do I do from the process flow, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I first, it looks a little different now. So I'll start it from kind of when I was early on. But when I first started coaching, basically I started with like every single person that I knew, every single person that followed me on Facebook, or that I was friends with on Facebook, every single person. There was no Instagram. Was there? No. Was there? Oh, wait. I used Instagram to like filter things. I think I went on and like didn't even make captions. I just used it to like filter my pictures and then post them other places, which is really fun. But whatever. I basically made sure that I invited every single person that I knew because, again, I felt like every person in my life deserved the opportunity to say no. Right? If they said no, totally fine. But I basically came up with a list of every single person that I knew. And then I made sure that I expanded my network every day, which I still do to this day, right? So I'm always making sure that I'm following new people because, and in this case, yeah, I guess to kind of like try to bring this in. Basically, I make sure that every single day I'm expanding my network. And by doing that, if you're using Instagram, you're going to want to look for people who you vibe with, that you think would vibe with you. So that's either going to be looking at hashtags, looking at places that you love to be. If you're a mom like me, or just, I mean, a human being with a beating heart, you might love Target. So like go to your local Target thing, anybody who's tagged that, right? And find some other people that you think look like people that you might relate to and follow those people. If they follow you back, so this is where I've changed my tactic. I assume instead of clicking on each face and like spending 5 minutes scrolling their profile, I'm giving them the opportunity to do that to me. So I actually go and I follow based off of their name and their picture, and I'm like, sounds like, I don't know, like somebody I might like. I follow bunches of people every single day. And then whoever follows me back, I'm going to assume that they scrolled my feed right before following me back, because I'm not following bots or fake accounts, I'm following people. So like when they follow me back, I assume that they've scrolled my feed and they kind of know what I'm about because I've been documenting, right? So they see that I'm doing workouts. They see I have maybe a little bit in my bio about what I do. And that then they become the people that I invite. And so you guys have my invite, my basic right there. That's a lot of my invites, or the response of like, have you ever thought about doing this with us? If somebody responds to my story, once I invite somebody, I don't, so at this point, I get their email address if they say they want more information, because I have to track them in Streak now. But prior to that, you guys, you don't have to do it that complicated. You can just make sure you write down their name. Either use a spreadsheet like a Google Sheet or use a notebook. But once they respond to you, this is when I start keeping track. Some people like to keep track of every person they invited. I don't do that, but some people do. Whatever it is, make sure you write down their name so that you know that they said that they were interested, so that if you send them all the details and they don't respond, you actually know that you need to follow up with them in a few days and make sure they saw it. Because again, you're not going to assume that they purposefully didn't respond, because I can tell you guys, especially before I was running a business on social media, I would constantly open messages and text messages and whatever messages, and then my child would jump on my lap or drop my phone in the toilet, or like I would have to like pump gas at the gas station and like leave it on the seat, or like there's a million reasons why somebody hasn't responded. And most often, I really don't think it's premeditated. I really think like 99% of the time, it's that they forgot. So keep that in mind. So you want to record their name and then just make sure you follow up with them. I don't even follow a strict follow-up schedule. I just try to follow up with at least like 10 to 12 people every day. And then again, I continue to document. Another really easy way to figure out who to invite is if you go to your stories list and you see people in your stories. Or when you post a post, if you click on those likes, even if you only have 12 likes, click on the likes, expand the likes, and look at all those names. Have you invited all 12 of those people? If not, go back and invite the people you haven't invited, okay? And every time I think I've invited everyone, all of a sudden there's new likes, because if you're using hashtags too, you'll get the occasional random like, and even random likes, as weird as it sounds, I think it's worth inviting those people. Hey, thanks so much for liking my picture the other day. This is super random. I'm running an online fit tribe. No clue if that's your thing because we don't even know each other. But would that be something you're interested in? A lot of times they ghost. Sometimes they're like, that is so weird. I was just looking at joining a gym. Like, tell me more about it. And they join your tribe, right? So, yeah, that's my process. Did that answer the question?
Yeah, definitely. I think, okay, 2 more questions real quick.
Yeah.
So what do you do if someone, because I want to make this short and be concise with people's time, but what do you do if someone says no to you? Just point blank, not interested. I rarely get that, but that was a question that was asked.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, it's so weird because I feel like I felt like I got that a lot at the beginning, but now I'm not sure if that was just my brain like focusing on it and like now, because I feel like I don't get that at all, but I feel like I wouldn't even think about it. But if somebody says like, well, I feel like the other day somebody said like, no, I have a personal trainer that I work with. And normally like, I guess they haven't just said like, they won't just say like, no, not if somebody said just like, no, I would just not message them back because that's just rude. And I just wouldn't message them back and I would just ignore it and whatever. But if somebody said like, no, I work with a personal trainer or something like that, I always like, and it's so true. I'm so stoked for them that they have something that works for them. So I tell them that. I say like, that is so cool that you're working with a trainer. Like, that's so awesome. Like, what's your favorite kind of workout? And I'll actually ask them questions and there's no like, underlying anything about it. I'm always just kind of curious too. Like, are they doing weight training? Are they doing like, what are they doing? And why do they like it? Right. But then also what that does a lot of the times is it opens up weak spots and they end up saying, well, I was working with a personal trainer, but I haven't gone in a month because I haven't been able to figure out childcare. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, I totally get that. That's where I was like, maybe you could look at doing this. It costs actually like the same amount that you're probably paying each month for a whole year of workouts. And then you could do this on like the months where you're maybe having a hard time with childcare, your kids are sick, or, it's snowing like 12 feet outside your house and you can't get to the gym, whatever it is. Right. But, I typically, just talk to people and normally made a new friend. And a lot of times they just say, wow, you're being so nice. Like, is it okay if I keep following you? I'm like, is it okay? Yeah. Like, keep following. It's totally fine. And, so I think the biggest thing is like, I don't take offense, number one. And I do think that that's one thing that I had pretty quickly on because I got my mindset right in the first couple months of if they don't join me, that's their thing. Like, it has nothing to do with me. It's totally fine if they don't. So,
that's such a good answer too. And I think, the approach that you have of just being curious is such a good takeaway from this. Like, always just be curious. When you want to be fearful of what does this person think, like Elisa said all call along, ask questions, be curious, figure out what they're doing in their world and be a genuine person. If we're worried about being salespeople, we have to remember that if we just ask questions, people, number one, love to talk about themselves, but also we get to build relationships. And the truth of the matter is, having been here for 5 years, there's coaches that watch me for 3 years that have DM'd me that they've read every book that I posted about or podcast recommendation or whatever that come around when it's right for them. So thank you so much, Elisa. You're amazing. I love your heart so much. I just really admire that about you. So thank you guys. We will get the recording posted in the team page and everyone will have access to this soon. But thank you guys so much for being on live. And thank you, Elisa, for sharing your heart.
Thanks, guys. Yay. See you soon. Bye.